Hi, I'm Marina. I'm a singer with the Amadeus Choir and a frequent bartender at Amadeus functions. We wanted you to know that while this Christmas concert is virtual, the bar is still open. So we thought we'd have a signature cocktail for this concert, with the idea being that we could all make the same drink and share a drink together while we watch the concert. So the signature cocktail I have chosen is a Canadian military tradition known as moose milk. It was invented by the Canadian military. It's not clear which branch because they all use it, and they all have different variations, and there's quite a bit of variability within each variation, but they're all basically a high octane version of eggnog. It's decades old. It was popular with World War II soldiers, and today still appears at military events, especially around Christmas and New Year's. The tradition is so embedded that there's a language that's evolved around it. Events where this cocktail is served are called moosers. And if you wanted to let a friend know that the beverage was being served somewhere, you would use the catchphrase, "The moose is loose." Right, now the recipe. Remember, there are lots of variations in this, so feel free to ad lib. The military are experts in making do with the ingredients they have at hand. There's no reason why you too can't, especially if you maybe didn't pick up one of these ingredients in your last socially distanced, once a week grocery run. So we'll start with the alcohol, of course. The military used to use whatever alcohol they had lying around, used to clean up leftover alcohol. So you can do that too, but it works best with rum, whiskey, or vodka, or a combination thereof. I'm a maritimer, so I'm going to use rum. 2 ounces of rum. I will confess that my shot glass is actually 1.5 ounces, so this is a 3-ounce serving, but you know. I'm going to use a cup of half and half. You could use full cream, milk. People have been known to use condensed milk in a pinch, whatever you have. Eggnog has, of course, eggs. Traditionally, this would be egg yolks beaten with sugar or maple syrup for the Canadian touch. But modern recipes usually use a prepared egg, such as ice cream. I'm going to use 1.5 cups of good quality vanilla ice cream. You could also use eggnog too if you happen to have that lying around this time of year. The thing that makes this eggnog different from most is it has a coffee kick. So we're going to add 1 ounce of a coffee liqueur, Kahlua, or I happen to have Tia Maria in the back of my cabinet. So good enough. If you don't have that, you can just use a cup of stiff, cold coffee. This particular recipe actually calls for both. So, not complicated. Dump it all in, whisk it up until it's nice and frothy, and we'll be right back. So, I whisked it up, let it sit for a few minutes to let the ice cream melt, and this makes about 1 liter, so that should be enough comfortably for 4 or 5 moderate drinks, or if people just want to taste many more. Put in the glass of your choice and top with the garnish of your choice. Nutmeg, cinnamon, dark chocolate shavings, all optional. If you wanted this to be an authentic military drink, you would probably double the alcohol, but as it is, this is probably good for the general civilian population. However, you can always feel free to add what is called a floater of rum to the top. So there you have it. The moose is loose. Enjoy the concert.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Amadeus Choir's virtual caroling party. We are so excited that you're joining us this evening. We have carols to sing with you, from traditional to more contemporary carols. We have excerpts of live performances. We have brand new virtual performances for you, some special guests. I'm not going to talk too much right now because we're going to get straight to singing. Find your carol books. If you've printed it out, that's great. If not, you have a PDF. There's a link in the comments. We are starting with Deck the Halls.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la, fa la la la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la, fa la la la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Roll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la la la. Follow me in merry measure, fa la la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la. Hail the newly lads and lasses, fa la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la.
Excellent. I wish I could hear you. The benefit of this kind of event is that you can sing with us, but unfortunately we can't sing with you. Perhaps if you sing loud enough from whatever corner of the country you're coming to us from, maybe we'll be able to hear you at Amadeus headquarters in Toronto. My name is Kathleen Allen. I'm the artistic director of the Amadeus Choir. I will be your host for this evening. I am actually live. I am saying this all right now. And the job of the conductor has moved away from the waving of arms and to the clicking of buttons. So that is my job for this evening, is to entertain you by pressing play on some of these projects that we've been working on over the last number of months. Our next offering for you is It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. This is a special one because it features 3 of our emerging Canadian voices, and they just happen to be siblings. We are very lucky to have all 3 Wanstall siblings in the Amadeus Choir. Here they are singing It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Take a look in the 5 and 10,
Glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes aglow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, toys in every store.
but the prettiest sight to see
Is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Bonnie and Ben. Dogs that will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
there's a tree in the Grand Hotel.
One in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start,
And the thing that will make them ring
is the carol that you sing right within your heart. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Bonnie and Ben. Dogs that will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas right I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
And what was in those ships all three?
On Christmas Day, on Christmas Day.
And what was in those ships all three?
On Christmas Day in the morning. Our Savior Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Our Savior Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day in the morning.
Pray with us sail those ships all three.
On Christmas Day, on Christmas Day.
Pray with us sail those ships all three.
On Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the bells on earth should ring on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the bells on earth should ring on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning.
All the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. And let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day in the morning.
Well, if that doesn't put you in the holiday spirit, I don't know what will. That was I Saw Three Ships, arranged, of course, by Sir David Wilcox and performed by members of the Amadeus Choir. Before that, you heard the Wanstall siblings singing It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. We have another duet, another small group for you to feature at the moment. This is Alison Roy and Eric McCarricker, two of our wonderful section leads, singing Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight.
How I hate going out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me tight,
All the way home I'll be warm. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight.
how I hate going out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me
Hold me
tight,
tight. All the way home I'll be warm, I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Thank you, Allison and Eric. Such lovely singing, even though you weren't in the same room. We could feel the chemistry. We are about to show you a piece of video from last year's December concert. This season was to be my second season with the Amadeus Choir. Last season was my first. This was my first Christmas concert that you're about to see. with the Amadeus Choir in the magnificent Eglinton St. George United Church. We had a full audience. The choir was on stage. It's just so hard to imagine that that feels so far away right now. One thing that hasn't changed is that Mitch's famous holiday basket is still up for grabs this year. If you live in the Toronto area, make sure to buy your tickets on the raffle basket. I will be announcing the winner later in this broadcast. The ticket sales close at 8 p.m. It's wine, cheese, Italian, amazing holiday stuff. So make sure to get those tickets right away. We are going to show you the final number from our concert last year. This is Silent Night, arranged by the amazing Nova Scotia composer and pianist Jenny Trites. Someday we will be able to sing like that together again. We have one more virtual performance for you, and then I will be welcoming a very special guest. But first, this is Away in a Manger.
Away in a manger, no crib or a bed, the
I am so delighted that my friend and famous baritone Tyler Duncan is here with us this evening. Tyler has sung with the New York Philharmonic, the Toronto Symphony, Oregon Bach Festival, Early Music Vancouver, Tafel Music, you name it. He has a voice of the gods and is a frequent collaborator with his wife, Erica Switzer. We are featuring a performance by them both this evening, and Tyler is here to say hello to us. Hi, Tyler.
Greetings and happy holidays. Merry Christmas if you're into that. I come to you live from my basement in Rhinebeck, New York, where we're now living. Erica is teaching at Bard College here in the Hudson Valley in New York and in the music department, and so we're here.
Wonderful. Well, that's one of the blessings of this whole situation. We probably wouldn't have you introducing your own virtual performance if we were in a regular situation this year. So I'm glad to be able to connect with you. How have you been making music throughout this whole time?
I seem to have a lot of free time right now. So, well, this summer or in the spring when the pandemic hit, we, of course, like many of us in the performing arts, we just lost all of our jobs. But one of the cool things was that Early Music Vancouver actually asked us what we were doing and if we were in British Columbia, and we weren't. We were here, but we hopped in the car and we drove all the way to Vancouver from New York this past summer, and we were able to do a recital with an 18th century, Broadwood piano, and we curated a program around that piano, and so that's going to be released sometime in January. And we also got to do a live, sort of a pre-recorded recital for Music on Main, and so they've been releasing that as well. So you can find that on musiconmain.ca.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad you've been able to sing a little bit. You also have a CD that's just come out.
Yes.
That it would make a great stocking stuffer. So I've just put the title here along our banner. Oh, perfect. So Google it, I think, is my advice. It's on Amazon. It's on other online retailers. Ask your local record store to order it in if they don't already have it in stock, and make sure you get that. I was just listening to it today. It's just gorgeous, so innocent and beautiful. Those childhood French songs, English songs by French composers.
Yeah, we've been fortunate in the pandemic, but the fact that we're married and we don't have to socially distance, we've actually had a few opportunities to do some online concerts or just making music here in the lovely basement, which you will soon see.
I have to say, it was one of the things that went off in my mind when I was thinking, who can we ask to be a guest performer on this broadcast? I know a singer and a pianist who live in the same house and could maybe make us a video that is actually making music in the same room. So why did you choose this piece that we're about to hear?
Well, it all goes back to my formative years in Vancouver. So before I went to UBC, or before I was singing in professional choirs like Vancouver Cantata Singers, Vancouver Chamber Choir, little stints with Musica Intima, I was going to be a jazz singer. And so I was studying at Vancouver Community College, playing trombone and singing jazz standards. And I love this song. Mel Torme was actually one of the very first concerts I ever saw live. Was Mel Torme at the Royal Theatre in Victoria. Bought myself a ticket when I was in high school and went and saw the Velvet Fog himself.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for contributing this gem of a piece. We wanted to feature it anyway, and I'm so glad it's in your beautiful baritone for us all to sing along with this evening. Tyler, stay safe. Merry Christmas.
You too.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed warm in winter clothes. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you so much, Tyler and Erica. That's Tyler Duncan and Erica Switzer. at the piano, his wife and often collaborative musical partner. Check out their new CD, check out their websites, just amazing artists and amazing people. Thank you for being with us tonight. We have 3 wintry virtual carols coming up for you now. Carol of the Bells is first. Make sure you have your warm-ups done because it's fast. Then we have Lo How a Rose Ere Blooming, a slow one so you can catch your breath, and then some Winter Wonderland for you.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say through cares away. Christmas is here, playing good cheer to young and old, big and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, dong is the song, with joyful ring. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how their bells raising the sound, oh, hill and dale, tell, hill and dale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, ding dong, dong is the song, with joyful ring, oh, heralding. Ding. Dong without a dear joyful tone to every home. Dong for the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say through cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, big and the bold. Ding dong, dong is the song, with joyful ring, all heralding. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how raising the sound, oh, hill and dale, tell, hill and dale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, with many, many dings dong. Ding on they send on without end, their joyful tone to every home.
On they send on without end their joyful tone to every home.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, just walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland.
In the meadow we can build a snowman, then pretend that he's Parson Brown. He'll say, "Are you married?" We'll say, "No, man."
But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire. We'll face unafraid the friends that we've made, walking in a winter wonderland, walking in a winter wonderland, walking in a winter wonderland, just walking in a winter wonderland.
Oh, so much fun. I just love that arrangement. It's by Derek Johnson out of Florida, usually done with an octet, and we made it work with 6 thanks to the incredible range of our top and bottom voices. That was Amanda Singh on the high note and Nicholas Wanstall on the low note. We're going to hear from them a little bit later about another piece that they're featured in. This year, as you can imagine, for all choirs and all arts organizations across the country has been enormously challenging. It's taken a lot of creativity and teamwork to come up with ways to stay connected with each other as a choir, which is a priority for a group such as the Amadeus Choir, which has such a strong community, but also to our audience, who we miss so dearly. We have been having weekly Zoom rehearsals since March, with a slight break over the summer, and the turnout has been incredible. The commitment to the community from our members, from our supporters, from our audience is overwhelming. If you have it in you this holiday season to give to the Amadeus Choir in any amount, we are so grateful for the support. As you can imagine, it's more difficult to reach audiences, to reach donors this year. So if you can spare any donation, we would be more than grateful this holiday season. You can visit AmadeusChoir.com/donate, or just reach out to our office about sending a check or any other method of payment. We have a carol for you. This is an audience sing-along from last year's December concert. It's one of my favorites, a lesser-known carol, perhaps, "See Amid the Winter's Snow." And some of you may even see yourselves in this video if you were at that concert. It's an audience sing-along carol. Feel free to stand and enjoy.
Thank you.
Oh, it's just so good to hear people singing together. I am delighted to introduce my next guest, who's not really a guest at all. He's been with the Amadeus Choir quite a lot longer than I have been. Sean Grenke is the music director at Eglinton St. George's, the church that you just saw us perform in. He's an incredible organist, pianist. He's also the associate conductor of the Amadeus Choir, and he's going to come on board to tell us a little bit about the next carol. Hi, Sean.
Hi, everybody. How are we doing?
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm just great. Just great. This is probably more nerve-wracking than actually playing a concert. Oh, my goodness. So the next carol we're going to hear is the amazing Hark the Herald Angels Sing by David Wilcox. And many of you will have known that David has guest conducted the Amadeus Choir on several occasions. I was fortunate enough to return to my first church in Hamilton, Ontario last week to record the organ part for this. It is at Centenary United Church, which was built in 1868, before the United Church was actually in formation. There was no boiler working. It was about 2 degrees, but we suffer for the Amadeus Choir. The organ is a little bit out of tune, but it came up quite quickly. But it is one of the most amazing symphonic instruments, and I really hope it does this carol justice. We just love this piece.
Thank you so much, Sean. It's great to hear you play an organ. This one, we have 8 singers, just so you know, 8 singers in the mix. So if you're singing along at home, sing loudly. This one needs a robust choir, so join in. We need full-throated singing.
Oh, and Kathleen and Amanda Singh is our guest soloist.
On the descant.
On the descant, yes.
Wonderful. Enjoy. Oh, that brings back memories growing up in the Newfoundland Symphony Youth Choir, now called Shalloway. We would do that carol every Christmas. And when I graduated to the choir that got to sing the descant, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. That is just a dream to sing. We have something completely different for you now. Some Frosty the Snowman. And then another beautiful sacred carol. This is the Gustav Holst setting of In the Bleak Midwinter. And we're delighted to feature our brand new soprano section lead, Jane Fingler, and her roommate, Sage Carlston, on In the Bleak Midwinter. But first, some Frosty.
Jing jingling jing jingling jing doo 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 doo. Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy soul, with a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty the Snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day. There must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found, for when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around. Oh, Frosty the Snowman was alive as he could be, and the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you
and me.
Jing-a-ling, jing, jing-a-ling, jing,
Jing, jing.
jing-a-ling, jing, jing-a-ling, jing. Frosty the Snowman knew the sun was hot that day, so he said, let's run and we'll have some fun now before I melt away. Down to the village with a broomstick in his hand, running here and there all around the square, saying, catch me if you can. He led them down the streets of town right to the traffic cop. He only paused a moment when he heard him holler, stop. For Frosty the Snowman has to hurry on his way. But he waved goodbye, saying, don't you cry, I'll be back some sunny, bright and sunny. Jing-a-ling, jing, jing-a-ling, jing.
Jing, jing.
Jing-a-ling, jing, jing-a-ling, jing.
Jing, jing.
Jing-a-ling, jing, jing-a-ling, jing. Jing-a-ling, jing, jing.
Thank you, Jane and Sage. It's just a classic carol with extraordinary text, of course, by Christina Rossetti. Our next carol is also going to be introduced by Sean Grenke, and I wanted to mention that Sean will be taking over as acting conductor in spring of 2021 while I am on maternity leave, and I'm so grateful that he's stepping up. Has worn so many hats in this organization and will be at the helm starting in January. So thanks, Sean.
Well, thank you so much, Kathleen, and we are so excited to see pictures of the baby. And Kathleen, of course, is staying in the role of artistic director and will be working closely throughout the next several months. And we're just wishing you all the best, Kathleen.
Thank you so much.
This next carol brings us back to the sanctuary of Centenary United Church in Hamilton. David Wilcox, "O Come All Ye Faithful," and even if you're not a soprano and you like the descant, we encourage you to sing along. Sing loud and sing proud. Over to you, Kathleen.
All right. We'll never know if you're a bass singing the descant in this one. This is your chance. Go for it. Enjoy.
Oh,
You just heard "O Come All Ye Faithful" in a virtual format, and it came upon the midnight clear in a real live performance from almost exactly 1 year ago. Next up, we have our second special performance guests of the evening, and that is Octava. Octava is a group of young, incredibly talented singers, and we are lucky to have 6 of their members as emerging Canadian voices, the Young Artist Program within the Amadeus Choir. It's supported by the Azrieli Foundation, and they contribute so much to our choir in such a variety of ways. You're going to hear an arrangement by one of their members, and I have 2 of them here to chat with us a little bit and introduce that piece. Hi, Nicholas. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hello.
Amanda, how has Octava been singing together and making music happen over the course of the past 8-9 months?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, most of our Octava members are singing as ECV singers. So it's been really fun just getting to still keep in touch with the choir community. It's been a really great way to connect with everybody. And aside from this, Octava's been working on our own virtual recording projects. And most recently, we've done a series called Octava and Friends. And the most recent addition to that was Nicholas's arrangement of Isn't She Lovely? And for the holiday season, we're going to be releasing some really fun holiday songs very soon. So if you want to check us out, Kathleen put a little banner on the bottom there for our Facebook page, and also check us out on YouTube under Octava Vocal Ensemble and on Instagram.
Thanks, Amanda. It's so great to have this partnership with Octava and also with each of the 6 of you. Nicholas, you arranged the next piece. I believe you also edited all the audio and did the video.
Yeah.
So you're the mastermind. What drew you to this piece, and tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the piece Walking in the Air from the animated short film The Snowman, which is sort of a Christmas classic in my family. I think we watched it during the holidays pretty much every year growing up, so it's a film that I really love, and it has no dialogue, and the music is almost all instrumental, except for this one song where all of a sudden there's this beautiful boy soprano singing the first and I guess the only text of the whole movie. So it makes it a really memorable song, really special moment in the movie. And it's just such beautiful music that I've wanted to do an arrangement of it for a long time, and finally got around to doing that. I think it was last year that I arranged it for Octava. And then, got fantastic audio and video tracks from all the members of the group and just putting them together. And then now we have our final product.
Well, we can't wait to hear it. If you don't know it, the melody is printed in your songbook. Give it a shot. There's no such thing as a wrong note in a virtual caroling party. So enjoy singing Walking in the Air with Octava. Thank you both.
Thanks.
Oh
sky. The villages go by like trees, the rivers and the hills, the forests and the streams. Ah, children gaze open eyes, taken by surprise. Nobody down below believes their eyes. We're surfing in the air, we're swimming in the frozen sky. We're drifting over icy mountains floating by. Suddenly swooping low on an ocean deep, unrousing of a mighty monster from its sleep. We're walking in the air, we're dancing in the midnight sky, and everyone who sees the streets are softly
Hello, my name's Mary Gray, and I'm the president of the Amadeus Choir. And I'd like to wish you happy holidays and all the best in the new year. 2020 had a few challenges, and as an arts community, we pivoted into the virtual world, guided by our talented and committed leadership and supported by our enthusiastic members. Thank you, Kathleen Allen, Sean Grinke, Allison Luff, our section leads and ECV singers, and all the members of the Amadeus community. The pandemic has certainly changed how we do our work. We've learned to do it differently, but our mission and our values remained. We are grateful to continue to share our love of choral music with you.
Thank you, Mary. Mary is the president of the Amadeus Choir Board. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We have two more of the most joyful songs for you. First, we have our raffle winner. I'd like to thank our board member, Kim Alexander, who managed all of this behind the scenes, has tallied all of the ticket sales, and using a Google random number generator, has determined that the winner is Lynette Swami. So we will be in touch with Lynette and make sure that delivery or pickup of that basket. Congratulations. We hope you enjoy all of that wine and cheese. It sounds amazing. We have two more songs for you. The first is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and then a rousing rendition of We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
Have
Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for inviting us into your homes to sing with you. I hope you enjoyed and got some good singing in. There's nothing better for the soul than singing some holiday tunes. The team that put this together is the most amazing team an artistic director could ask for. Thank you to everyone who contributed. We wish you a safe and healthy and happy holiday season. Good night.